Hello, I'm Dan Lutz and I'm addressing the Billion Coin community and abundance-minded people everywhere. Specifically, I'm going to discuss with you today a topic about exchangers. And many people are searching for exchangers, not understanding exactly what they are. And I also want to bring up about someone that I've been coaching to create an exchanger, Joseph. And Joseph approached me about 4 months ago, and he's come up with an exchanger. Now, I believe it has promise, but let's discuss what an exchanger is and what you really can look forward to. If you're looking for an exchange like Bitcoin exchange, any of the other cryptocurrency marketplace exchanges, that's not real. When you say, here's your TPC, we're going to now sell it for you, to a third party, this is very hard to set up. Most of these are scams, or I could say 99.99% are scams. Sometimes I see many coming out a week. Mostly it has died down because we've done a good job at educating our community to stay away. There's been ones out there called TBC code, which was about a trading system. It was basically an accounting system. You bring people in and you basically do an exchange between your group, and you keep doing these and you level it up to actually make more and more. And new people come in and they also want to participate. And I call those money games. I just as a side note, I disassociated myself from the gentleman that created TPC code, as we started something called Kringle code, and he basically doesn't act out of honor. He doesn't honor his word, and as such, I cannot do business with him. And that set aside, there are systems out there that can work, but they have to have a couple of key things to make them workable. One is they're transparent. You know what's going to happen. You know how it's happening. Second, they have to be sustainable. Something that will continue, right? Meaning that it's not going to run out of steam after the first 2 weeks and they run away with the money, right? So if you're going to go out and want to create this as this system, if it's a Ponzi scheme, or a money game, Ponzi schemes are meant to run away with your money. So I find it fascinating that people are anxious to find the next Ponzi, right? They want it. They're running for it. It took me a while to figure out this about gambling, and they want to gamble. And in this gambling and the Ponzi is the first people in get to exchange some, and then later on, the idea is, as the gamblers, you'll get out in time before the thing collapses, which doesn't happen. You get, a few handful of people that escape from the clutches of the scammers. But mostly, everyone gets hurt. So in the money game, it's going to, as I said, it has to be sustainable and it has to be transparent. So let's talk about Joseph. I'm going to share my screen with you. Hold on. So in transparency, I'm going to actually show you how this started with Joseph. Joseph is a young guy, very young guy. And so he's having a lot of people distrust him because he's a young guy, and he's representing what he wants to do. But he did come to me starting on March 31st, and here's the conversation. Hello, I am Feremi Tundi Joseph, so call him Joseph. I want to review my web site. Well, it's kringletrader.com. He says, I'm not a scammer, just trying to do the best to make TPC valuable. I said, you can call me first and answer some questions. I said, okay. So anyway, we had some calls. So let me just continue on here. And so he tried to make some calls. So now I just basically said that I would review it, but he has to pay me for my time. So what I've been telling people, because so many people say, hey, is this good? Is this good? I don't have time to chase down all these exchangers and view. I said, if you want me to review it, you have to pay me. So basically what I've told everyone, give me $300 in Bitcoin, the value of Bitcoin, and I will go ahead and review your site. So it basically took him some months to do that, but he ended up sending me basically $100. He doesn't have a lot of money. I agreed to look at it because he was very persistent, right? So we're already, July 30th. So he took, we had some conversations. I took a look. I said, your system has some major problems. And I told him what they were. And he's gone out and he's fixed them. It mostly had to do with some automation. And so he changed around some things. Now I had another conversation with him in which that is the video that I'm going to tack on to the end to this introduction. And what I'm telling you is that I believe Joseph is trying his best to create a system. His system is not exactly sustainable in its condition, meaning that it can run into some problems. It's a money game in which you can play and you can win, but it may run into some problems if things slow down. So that's where it's fought. We talk about some additional things that he could do to fix that, right? And it's all discussed on this video. So I'm putting this out. Number one, I want to say, please support Joseph. I believe he's a good guy and he wants to create a good system. He needs some people to help build this up. I think it's a decent system and has and it's built and it can function as is. But it is a money game and it can run out of steam. But I do feel that it can. If he can run it for a while, he'll have enough money so that he can make some an additional improvements in it. But as it is, it would run, but may end up with some problems. But I do feel that it's not about him trying to scam anyone, so I want to make that clear. So, okay. So what I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to now put this video up so you can take a look. Bye-bye for now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, I hear you. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay. So there's a very bright yellow or green behind you. Mine is not so bright.
That is great.
Okay. So what is the difference when you offer the website? What is the difference when you go to using the link or you just go to the site? Because I noticed when I just used that link you gave me, it just took me to the site normally. Is it supposed to do that? Or supposed to take me to a sign-up page?
Okay. Yes, I got your point about that, sir. So maybe I will tell the developer to let the link take you to the registration page, because as you click on the link now, the system have already recognized that you click on the referral link. So whenever you register, it will show.
I'm going to just share my screen with you. So, so this is, I just come to this page, right? When I clicked on it. So, how do I know what to do once I'm here, right? If I clicked on the link, I expect to be signing up.
Okay.
Right? So,
okay. Just click on register.
Okay, I'll click on register. Phone number, just curious.
You put your phone number there.
Yeah, I'm asking you why. Why do you need a phone number?
The phone number is to let the seller connect with you. In case you are not online that time, the seller will call you, or if you are not online or your buyer is not online, you can use that phone number to connect each other by calling each other or message each other.
Okay, well, I would suggest you say WhatsApp number, because if you're international, then...
Yes, WhatsApp number also is there. Your email address is there. Your Telegram number is there. So everything will be put in, so that if they try your number and your number is not available, then they can message you on WhatsApp or on Telegram, or even they can message you through your email address. You get my point?
I use like a 100 character password, so it worked.
What do you say?
I have a password generator. It has 100 characters, so it worked. That's a good sign.
Okay.
Okay, so here I am.
Yeah. Yes, good. You have to update your profile, and you update your profile and your wallet.
So there's this what's here in red, right? So update my profile.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, see there, that would be the WhatsApp number. Now you're asking for the WhatsApp number.
Yeah.
Telegram phone number. Yeah, just put, instead of phone number, you can just put Telegram ID, right? See if it likes it.
And you can put at. Let it be at. Download. At.
Oh, okay. It's not necessary, you know.
Yes, okay, like that. Save.
Okay, so accepted, okay.
Then you have to go to the profile settings.
I have to go where?
Go to dashboard now.
The dashboard, okay. And update the wallet.
Update the wallet, yes.
So what's next?
Okay, you have updated your wallet now. So you need to click on fund account. You click on fund account.
Oh, in the middle.
Yes. Yes, you click on proceed. So you're going to take you to the coin payment page.
Okay, good.
So you have to copy the amount and send it to that wallet.
Yeah, okay. Well, once this is done, of course, this is going to go time lapse.
So once this is done, the system will automatically approve your account.
Okay.
So once the system approve your account, so the system will now merge you with a seller. The seller will be appear below the before the recent deposit. The seller will be appear there. So once your account has been approved,
I'm sorry, where will it appear?
This wallet balance is where your earning will be stored. The next step is after you make the payment.
Mm-hmm.
After you make the payment, the system will automatically confirm your payment and approve your account. You get my point?
Yes.
So after that, system will now merge with. After that, system will merge seller with you. The person that will set TBC to you, system will merge it with you, and that seller will now send.
Yeah, but where do I?
Hello?
Is it on this page right here, or is it another page?
There's no any other page again.
Okay, so it's going to appear here somewhere.
Yes, the seller will appear on the dashboard here.
Where on
The
the
seller is going to appear on the dashboard once your account has been merged. The seller will appear on the dashboard, and you will receive an email notification. Anytime you have a notification anytime you have a trade notification, you will receive it direct to your email address.
Okay. So the wallet balance right here would show 30. Is that right?
What do you say?
The wallet balance would show 30 here.
Yes, this is wallet balance. This is the referral. The green one is for referral, and the red one is for the total of transactions you have made.
Okay. Completed withdrawals. All right. And that goes to your Bitcoin wallet address.
Yeah, once you click on withdraw,
Oh, over here? Where? On my withdrawals?
Yes, this withdraw. After the dashboard, you say yes, withdraw.
Yeah.
So you are going to input the amount you want to withdraw there.
Okay.
So this is withdraw. You put the amount there, and $5 is the withdrawal fee.
Okay. So if I have $90 sitting in my account, is the withdrawal fee still $5, or is it $5, $5, $5?
Yes, if you want to withdraw, we charge $5 per withdrawal.
Well, is it per
That
withdrawal?
is it.
Is it per withdrawal, or is it for every $30?
Every time you want to withdraw, we charge $5.
So
if you have if you want to withdraw $100, we will charge $5. If you want to withdraw $30, we will charge $5.
So it doesn't matter. It's always $5.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's very cheap. So I was thinking it was $5 for every $30 transaction.
$5 is per transaction. So if you withdraw 10 times in a day, we are going to be deducting $5 from each withdrawal.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to make money on this, right? So if I waited and I didn't withdraw, I just let it keep in there and I keep trading, right? Then I have, $1,000. I withdraw, it only costs me $5.
But let me tell you this, sir.
Okay.
The maximum you can withdraw at once is $100.
Okay. So that's fine. I get it now. I see. So then you're going to wait until people have 100 people wait till they get like 3 transactions. It's $90 and then withdraw.
And if you want to withdraw instantly, if you want to withdraw $20 or $30, we deduct our $5.
Yeah,
if you wait, so that's it, sir.
Okay. Well, are you sure that's going to be enough money in this system then for operations?
Yes, because we have plans. We have plans, a lot of strategy with this system now, and it's going to be. We can never run out of cash, because if you trade like 4 times now, you get your 8 buyers. You need to put back $30 from your account. That is the recommit. Do you get my point? That recommit is to make sure the system will never run out of cash. So click on history. Click on trade history. You will see recommit history.
Recommit history, I see.
Yes.
Okay.
This recommit is to keep system not to run out of cash. Do you get my point, sir?
Yeah, no, I get it. That was the main issue I was worried about. I still
so
think,
the recommit system is to secure the system in order not to run out of cash. Because if you trade for 4 times now, you make like let me just say you make $100. You have to send $30 back to the system. to make sure not to run out of cash. So once you trade $100, you withdraw the $100 out, you have to send back $30 to the system to keep the system not to run out of cash. So that is what the recommend stands for, sir.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, all right, we'll go back to that later. So, I understand, trade history, buy history, sell history. The withdrawals, my referrals. So my referrals, so here's my referral link. And
yeah.
Basically.
So here we still have another feature. Yes, sir. Let me explain to you, sir. If you refer someone now, you get the phone number of that person and the email address of that person with the username. If the person is afraid to put money into our system, you can contact the person and explain to him through his phone number and his email address.
Okay.
So
then who's been signed up. So then there's $3 for each one, right? And that's a one-time fee that you take out of that $5.
Yes.
So now you have a problem.
Okay.
The problem is that you've only collected $5. You can only pay out on one referral. So if they did like say 3 transactions and they had $90 sitting there and they did the $100 withdrawal, so you owe them $9, but you only collected $5.
I don't understand you, sir.
Okay, so let me stop sharing for a moment. So I'm going to bring in 3 people, right?
Yes.
So referral fee, right? And then I'm also doing 3 transactions, right?
Yeah.
I do 3 transactions. I made $90.
Okay.
Right? I did the 2. I recommitted, and maybe I did 4 transactions. So I did 4 times 30. So I have $120 sitting there. I'm going to take a $100 withdrawal, right?
Yes.
All right. Now, I gave you $5 for that withdrawal.
Okay.
Right? But you owe $9
for the referral.
For the referrals.
Okay, let me clear you about that. For that referral, I don't have any problem with it. The strategy for that referral is that before you can withdraw your referral, because you withdraw your referral earnings separately, it's not attached to your earnings. You can see on that earnings that select withdraw from your balance, withdraw from your referral earnings. Mm-hmm. Before you can withdraw your referral earnings, you have to have $15 in that referral earnings. So whenever you want to withdraw that referral earnings, I will still deduct $5 from it. Do you get my point?
No, I do not. First, I don't know what hennis means. Say the word I'm not hearing. I don't get the pronunciation.
Okay.
Say this again.
Let me say it again now. Before you can withdraw your referral earnings.
Hennis is what?
Your earnings, your referral earnings.
Referral hennis. I don't know that word.
Yes.
What is that?
As in your referral your referral money.
Okay.
So before you can withdraw your referral money,
okay,
you have to refer 5 people for you to qualify to withdraw that referral money, because the minimum you can withdraw from your referral money is $15. The minimum you can start withdraw from your referral money is $15.
Okay.
So whenever you want to withdraw the referral money, I will deduct my own $5 from it, because you cannot withdraw it together with your trade earnings, trade money.
Yeah, I get that. So it's no problem if people are withdrawing a little bit of money and paying you $5. The problem comes in is that you've collected, you owe $9 in commission, but you've only collected 5, right, on a big amount.
Yes.
That's where the problem lies. Now, in the balance of things, maybe it's okay because you have enough people coming in and you have enough to pay out, but there is a problem there. I think that you should charge $5 for every 30 withdrawal.
Okay, I should charge $5 for each trade, they trade.
Okay, all right, yeah, you could do it instead of the withdrawal. You can do it for the trade. Yes, that's fine.
Okay, I get your point.
No withdrawal fee.
I get your point.
Because you're good, you can run it. You can be okay, but maybe not. Maybe someday you're okay and some days you're not. And if you have too many days that you're not okay, the system collapses because you didn't bring in enough money.
Yes, I get your point, sir. I really get your point.
So now you're really only making $2, right, per transaction on this, but that's okay because if you have thousands of transactions a day, then that's okay, right? You'll be styling.
Okay.
Okay.
I get your point, sir.
All right.
I get your point.
All right. So let's go back to the share.
Okay, no problem.
I hope this is the right one. Yes. Okay. Good. All right. So that's this. I'll just read this. So here's your chance to receive big payments for your referrals with affiliate program. Receive $3 for every direct referral they refer to us. Entry into your affiliate program is open to all registered users of the website. We will provide you with a link so that you start, and of course you get great service. Pretty much sells itself. Just share the word of our trading program with your friends and other people to create a lucrative extra income, paying for every referral that is successful funding his or her trading wallet. Okay, so yeah, this is fine. I understand it. It's easy, so no problems here. And here's the referral link, and so you just pass it out. The only thing is, yeah, if you should allow them to land on the sign up page, right? With the referral link, so at least when they get there, they know that they're supposed to sign up, because that makes sense. Right. So what else? So what is that's all that's in the account settings, and that's
I get your point.
okay. So anything else to go over here? It's just about making the deposits and then the automatic status of doing this. So so what happens if you check the status, transaction status? That's what.
This is the status. You can check the status of a transaction. Is that the system approve it or not?
Yeah. Okay, I got it. So now the other problem that looks like that is that it may run into a problem again is you have to feed the system enough people for it to work. It's nice. It's a nice clean look. It's easy to understand. So there, I don't think you have a problem. But if you have too many people that are withdrawing in one day, because you need, so if you had 100 people and they all went to do transactions today, they deposited, they're able to now withdraw 30 and 30 times 2, right? So you have the 100 people in there so they can automatically be matched for the first one. But where's the second one? You have to have the people come in, right?
Yes.
So if you don't have the people, the system slows down and waits for people to come in. Then it's on a first come, first served basis. So really, if you have people come in by referral, they're coming in one referral, then that's where okay. If you're bringing in the people by referral, those people are brought in by someone, right? So can they be, then you can allow them to do the second one, second transaction, but then it's still very slow, because what about the people that didn't bring anybody, right?
I got your point about this, and I've been really working about the strategy we can use, but I don't want to introduce that strategy now, because I have a strategy that we can use to make sure people will be coming in. But the strategy now, I cannot introduce it now because we have not grown. So people have not really trust us like that. So what I'm planning about the strategy is that, like you told me yesterday, that I should let people, I should compulsory, I should compose history for them to bring people in. Say, get my point?
Yeah, I get it. Well,
you said I should compulsory it for them, so that every one of them will bring in one members.
Yeah, but so the problem is, though, all right, you're bringing in a member, and okay, let's say I just signed up, right? And I did not bring anybody, right? I'm just here. Many people won't bring any referrals, right? So
yes.
So I'm going to come in, and the people that are that I put my $30 in, I did get one trade matched. Okay, good. I get paid out. Now I can do 2, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
I can do 2. I'm in for 1. Okay, no problem. Where's the second one come from? Because I got matched to someone to pay them. Now someone's matched to me. Where's that next one come from? I'm waiting, right? Because there's not, there's 10 other people like me came in. We didn't bring anybody, right?
Well, I get your point, but what I just want to say about that is that it will reach a certain level that if anybody did not join, people will not know, because the system will keep on rotating among each other. I don't know whether you get the point.
Well, I know, I get it. You're telling me that they're going to be inside rotating around each other, right?
Yes, it's going to be rotating around, and if we reach a certain level, I'm going to compose it. I'm going to recommend it for everyone to bring at least one members to unlock their withdrawal. Do you get my point?
Yeah, I do. I get it. But
that method is that once you are trading, you are going to be trading without bringing people. But whenever you want to withdraw your money, you have to bring just one person to unlock that account. permanently. If you bring that person, if you bring one person to unlock your account, that means you can keep withdrawing anything you like. But if you don't bring one person, you cannot withdraw until you bring one person or you open another account for yourself. That's the strategy, but I'm not going to introduce that one now. That's the plan one that I've put separately somewhere now, but I'm not going to introduce it now because I want this system to grow higher than this before I introduce that method.
Yeah. Well, you have it looks good, but except for this one problem, I don't know how you're going to overcome it, because even no matter what, here's the only thing I can think you can do. You can allow people to do maybe one transaction a day, or one transaction every 3 days. That gives the system time to bring people in, and so there's a delay before they can do the next transaction.
Okay,
so,
I got your point.
So I would say it might even be good to start them out like 3 days, right? Right, and then if they bring in one person, it knocks off a day. They bring in a second person, it knocks off another day. So they bring in 3 people, they can trade that day.
Okay.
All right. So
yeah,
meaning that, okay, you had a delay of 3 days. So the first transaction you're done, right? So you've already done your transaction. You can't trade yet, right? You have to wait 3 days. So you wait the 3 days, no problem. There's people that are coming in, right? So you can do your now 2 transactions, right?
Okay.
All right. So you've waited 3 days. Now you bring in one person. That means, oh well, you've added a person, so that means they can do. You can do a transaction because there's an extra person in the system, so it knocks off a day. So you bring in 2 people, it'll knock off 2 days, and you can transact that way. So you will be up by 1 person a day that way, but that's or they just wait. So the other thing to do, and maybe 3 days is not enough. Maybe you have to do it once a week or once every 5 days. You know, it really depends on how many people are flowing into the system.
Yes. I get your point. That one will be adjusting little by little.
Yeah. So I think you maybe if you did 5 days, and then if they bring in people, they can trade, they can knock off a day. You can do something like that.
That one I will be adjusting that. I told you that that picture is already been there already. So now the time wait is 6 hours now. So once we are seeing enough member in the system, we are going to increase the limit little by little.
Yeah. So the trade every 6 hours, yeah, it's too much. You can't do it. You don't have enough people. You're always you always owe double the number of transactions. That's the way you've set this up. You always owe double. So you have to feed it double to keep it going. So it's
yes.
You have a bit of a problem unless you delay them being able to access it. You don't give it time. You still run into a problem at some point. This will grind to a halt at a certain point when you don't have enough people to feed it.
Okay.
All right.
I will try and overcome that. So I will try on my best with your support. I know I will overcome that.
So let's say you did this in a city, right? And there was only 10,000 people in the city, right? And you didn't do it anywhere else in the world. It's only in that city. So when you got all 10,000 people in, right? And they did the transaction, their next thing to do is 2 transactions, right? But
yes,
you only have 10,000 people. How do you have 20,000 transactions? You only have 10,000 people to do them, unless you delay them, right? You delay them being able to do it so that they're staggered. So you have time for people to do one transaction, they come back, and then, you know, it'll come in. I think 3 days is minimum. You might need 5 days to make this work, and even maybe once a week, you know. You can start this off slower, right? And say, once you make, you know, once we're at this many, once you start, right, you'll start at 7 days, right? So you start on a Monday, you can trade every Monday, right? You start on a Wednesday, you can trade every Wednesday.
Okay.
Right? So you could do something like that. And then if they've done, you know, if they've brought in 5 people, they can do an extra trade, an extra day.
Yeah.
That you can do something like that. The trick is to get people to come in, right? So that the system continues to work as long as possible.
Yes.
And do trades. So this is a money game, right? So it's not a Ponzi because you're actually completing transactions. As long as you allow, as long as you're not using, as long as you have enough money in the system, that means you have to feed the system, right? And I don't know if 7 days is enough. It might have to be based on the number of people. It's probably more legitimate, but you might have to do some more math. So you have to calculate the number of people that have come in based upon the number of people that have to do transactions per day. And you can say how many people are now queued up to do a transaction. You can automate that, but that will require some, you know, figuring out the math of it.
Yeah. Good point.
So, yeah. So if you had a count of the number of people, and you're gonna, because you're doing an automatic placement anyway, you could basically do it automated and send them an email when it's time for them to do a transaction. You could do something like that. Your next transaction you can do now, and they can come in and do it. You can do something like that. But again, it's always about feeding the transactions in, and that. So the only thing you can play with is time, right? So giving the system time to recover. All right, and the longer the recovery,
Yes.
the better, the more likely it will last longer.
Yes. I get a point.
Right.
Get a point.
But you have to make sure that you don't run out of money, and you start using. If you start getting to a point where you're paying out more than that's coming in, then you've turned into a Ponzi.
That's that is why I have the recommit button there, so that in order in order not to run out of cash, that's the reason why we add the recommit features there.
What button again?
What do you say?
You said that's why you have a recommend button?
Yes, because we don't want to run out of cash.
Where is that recommend?
So people that
show me. What do you mean?
The recommit, the recommit that I show you now before, the recommit that I showed you before, that trade history, you will see the recommit history. After you trade 4 times, after you trade,
okay, you recommit.
Yes, after you trade 4 times, the system will automatically display the recommit button that you should deposit $30 to the system for that 4th trade in order to continue trading with our system.
Right. Well, I get that, right? But you recommit 130, right? $30 goes in, but they can do 2 transactions of 30. That's double. So that's why there's that issue. You have to make sure that you have enough people coming in. So the only thing is, either referrals, right? Having them bring in referrals. You still may end up in a problem in this scenario unless you have enough people coming in. That's the whole thing. Even if you have enough, so those 10, like in that city, I said, okay, you have 10,000 people, and they're all in, and they're all ready to do their transactions. You still always have to have double the transactions ongoing. Than what's going in. So where does it come from? Other than them doing the transaction once, everyone is owed two. You still end up in a problem.
Yeah, I get your point, sir.
Yeah.
So I told you that as time goes on, I'm going to add another features there. The features we recommend every new member to bring one person into the system or open another account. So that feature will enable them, as in we recommend it for them to bring one people in after the trade, but their trade will not stop. They will keep in trading, but they cannot withdraw until they bring one people. So that is the feature we want to introduce, but not now. So if you don't know how to recruit people, if you don't know how to introduce to refer people, that means you are going to open another account to support in order to grant your first account to withdraw.
Yeah.
Do you get my point?
Yeah, I do.
But we have not introduced that. We have not introduced that now.
See, like when you're in a Kringle code, for example, or code, the idea there is you're always doing you're trading up bigger amounts of trade, bigger amounts of trade. But you always are trading with someone who just did a trade, right? And so you're trading up more. So you have more people buying from you. That means you get more money. You can trade up. In this system, you are always always behind by double, right? So this is why there's a problem with this. I think you really have to solve it. Even delaying is going to, let's say you delay 1 week before that. So you're assuming you've brought in enough people to cover and everyone's delayed a week. Eventually, you're going to get to a point where if it slows down, right? Even you've waited 1 week and let's say you were bringing in, I don't know, 100 people a day. And then for some reason, for a week, it slows down to 10 people a day. You now are not able to catch up because there's too many people waiting for that second payment to get done to move forward.
Yeah.
If you said one trade, if you said one trade, one person you bring in, you've lost the excitement, right?
No, I'm not saying one. I'm not saying that if they want to trade, they should bring one people. No, what I'm trying to say is that if let's say you open account now, you will be trade without bringing in people. But whenever you want to withdraw your money,
I didn't catch the last part.
people, if you're a new member and you have been trading, you want to withdraw your money for the first time, you have to bring in one person, just one person. Yeah. So after you bring down one person, you will be withdrawing your money anytime you want. That is the feature we are planning to implement, but we have not done that now.
Well, that's one person, one trade, one person, one trade, one person, one trade.
No, it's not one person, one trade. What I'm trying to say is that, for instance, as you register now, you fund your account and you are trading. You have traded like 5 times. You want to withdraw your money for the first time. If you click on that withdraw, it will not work. It will tell you that you should bring one person. So, but once you bring that one person, you will withdraw that money. So you don't need to bring another person again to trade or to withdraw. Once you bring that one person, do you get my point?
I do. I get it. But they're going to do another trade and another trade and another trade, and then it's going to be doubling up and doubling up and doubling up. And you don't. If they only brought in one person, you're got paid out 10 times 10. Where'd those 10 people come from?
Sir, but you know that this, it's not only one person that will be in the system. So every new member also will be bringing in one person like that, and the system will be doubling like that. So, and remember, the system also keeping rotating among the users. The system will keep rotating among the users, and each new member they bring in also will be supporting them.
Okay, let me say what. This is what I think you should do.
Okay, sir.
You should get a spreadsheet, right? And lay this out and do transaction 1, transaction 2 for one person, and then for another person, and track how many people come in. So you assume you're going to get, I just say 10 people a day, and then you start counting how many transactions you have to fill. You immediately will end up with a problem. Even if you're delaying their payment for them to do the next transaction, like they're once a week. All right, you do once a week transaction, the system will have time to recover because more people coming in. But if you have a slowdown for 1 week, you will get to a point where people are not going to be able to be paid out on that second payment. It will stockpile, right? And then the new people coming in will the back orders, right?
Okay. So now, what do you really want me to do now? As in, which method that I can use to overcome this issue in future?
Yeah. You either have to go ahead and do one. You bring in one person, you could do a transaction, which is kind of like defeating what you're trying to do here. Is you're offering double the money, right? You're doubling your transactions, right? You did one, so now you can do two. If you did something where they have a chance to do a second transaction, right? They do one transaction, but the second transaction is like a lottery.
Okay.
Right? You will they get depending on how many people are coming through, so let's say someone brings in a referral. The referrals all go to the lottery.
Okay, I got your point. Now, what you're trying to say is now, that time I should delay the transaction a little bit. Like if you trade now, you are going to, if you trade, if you have one trade today, you are going to do another trade maybe next week. Like, let me just say, a distance between their trade. Do you get my point, sir?
Yeah, distance between the trades. But that's one thing. But the other thing, see, you're really behind in transaction. You've doubled you're always behind by double.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
You're doing 1,000 transactions a day completed, right, for $30. The next day, right, you have to now allow them to go do another 1,000 transactions. But where did they come from, right? Because that $30 is not in the system anymore. It's all went out. So even if you've waited 1 week, right, it's going to compile to the next week, and the next week, and the next week, the next day, and the next day. Always this is pushed out another week from now to do the transaction. So it's not you have to do something to allow for the system to build up the ability for them to do the next transaction. So
Okay.
if you do if all of the transactions are based upon a lottery, right? Not double. Okay. If you
Okay,
go
fine.
into the lottery, it's you know, like a luck of the draw, right? You know, I don't know what kind of system. You know, it's like, do you get to trade today? It'll be that kind of thing, and some people will, and some people won't, right? But you know, what is the advantage of doing that? Is that some people must have an advantage over others, right? So what determines that advantage? So if you've brought in a member, maybe it gets weighted more. You know, I see. You know, if you run the system like this, no matter what you do, you're going to be short. So even delaying it a week, you end up causing the ability for it to delay. You get more time before it starts to get slow, right? And if you have a high number of people coming in, you can maintain it. But as soon as it slows down, you won't be able to complete the second transaction, right? Because you have all that buildup of people. Everyone's going to want to trade. Of course, some people will miss days, right? If those people missing a day, they miss their transaction that time. That you know, saves you one transaction, but you can't count on that.
Well, okay.
So
Really, I don't even know what to say, guys. You.
I know because I know you're ready and ready to go, but you're gonna run into a problem. That's the thing. You know, delaying your transaction is the only thing I can think that you can do for them to do their transaction. They get in and they can do a transaction. Even let's say it was the next day, and they have a chance to do a second transaction. That would be okay. You have to have some way of feeding the system, you know, that allows the people to have something other than just doing a transaction for transaction, because they could do that without your system. Except it's good. The good thing about Kringle code was that TBC code is it was an accounting system, right? So if you want to do this just as one for one in the system as it is, right? Not two transactions, but just one for one. You say, well, what's the advantage of doing that, right? Well, you're bringing people in, and they're able to do a transaction, and they've completed a transaction. They can bring another person and see, okay, we're trading back and forth. But in say TPC code, the amount elevated, right? It went higher, it went higher, it went higher. So that was the excitement. You're trying to get the excitement out of the second transaction, but it doesn't. But you don't have a place to take the second transaction from.
Okay.
So making a delay will give you the ability to allow the system to recover somewhat, but it also can fail. That's the point.
Okay.
The longer the delay, the less likely it is to fail, as long as there's people coming in. If people are slowing down coming in, it's going to fail. Right? You just won't be able to get the transactions until that next person comes in. They automatically gets placed, but you know they might not have. It might have taken them 3 weeks to get the transaction done. Oh, I got something.
Okay, sir.
you could, what you could do is you could give them a time frame to do a transaction, and they have to complete it, or it moves to the next person in line.
Okay.
Then some people are going to miss, right? And then you have people like, you ever do a penny auction? Have you ever been on the penny auction websites?
How do you say?
Okay, I'm trying to give you an example, but you don't know penny auction?
Penny action. I don't know.
So it's like, you know, eBay, right? You're bidding, but you bid by 1 penny, and you buy the bids, and you bid it, and you bid, and you bid. But you have to be ready. If you have to be ready, if it's ready, you're going to bid, right? If you miss it, someone else got it.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So if you did it on a time frame and they have something like that, or like a, you know, a guessing game, right? Okay, you have to pick a number between 1 and 10, and they put it in. And if they can get the right number, good, they get to do the trade. They don't, it goes to the next person, right? And they have to wait until it comes back to them, right? So something like that, because then you have people there. It's like they either have a chance, they have 1 chance in 10 to do a transaction.
But that one will be another project. That one will be another project.
Well, you've got everything laid up here, right? So you're just talking about. I understand you have a. So I'm just trying to get something where you're not, where it's not going to just stop, right? And you have to get people to come into it and make it flow. So either I guess the easiest thing for you is just to put in the delay for them to do a transaction. So that would be it. But you're no matter what, you're gonna end up with you have a big number of for the more people you come, you always have to put out double. That's the system you designed. So even if you're feeding it, you know, you have to, if you have 10 people, right, in a day, they did 10 transactions. Tomorrow they have to do 20 transactions. You only have 10 people in the system. The other 10 people have to come where? That means you have to add 10 more people the next day, right?
But if I delay the transaction, for them, the minimum of that the problem will be reduced. So the double will be reduced.
Yeah, well, it's okay. Let's say you delayed it 3 days. So 10 people the first day. The next day, you had to bring in 10 more people, but they can't trade yet, right? So the next people, you have another 10 more days. Another day goes by. Now you have 10, 20, 30 people. So now you're waiting to do 60 transactions on the fourth day. You waited 3 days. The fourth day, you're going to do the first 20 transactions. So you have enough people in the system to do it. Yes. But if you only brought in 5 people the second day and third day and fourth day, you don't have enough. You know, something like that. If your growth is too slow, you can't do the transactions, which means those people will be delayed. If you're going to do the system, you have to let them know when their time comes, right? To you minimum 3 days. 3 to 5 days. Right?
Everyone know in the group that the system only match based on first come first serve. So if the system if you are ready to trade, the system will definitely send you a message. Do you get my point? So everyone know that the system match based on first come first serve. So if you did not trade today, you have to wait till it reach your turn. That is what I always tell everybody.
Yeah. If it's first come, first serve, right? The second transaction is possible to happen, but not for everybody. Right? I mean, you're always going to be behind. The amount of the ones to do the next transaction are going to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
But okay,
So
sir.
let's say you're able to fulfill those orders, the second round. We're always talking about the second round. The first transactions, the money came in. You're refeeding. You're what'd you call it? Recycle.
Yes.
Recommit.
So
the recommitment always means you have $30 in the system, right?
yes, to make sure we have enough fund in the system. That's what the commitment for.
Yeah.
So with this your idea you shared to me now, and the one I said, I think it will minimize the problem. The reason why I said that is that if I delay the transaction for system to have time to recover, that's the reason why I delayed the transaction, to have time to recover.
Yes.
The second idea is that to compose, to recommend it for people, all those new members, that you can trade without bringing people. But whenever you want, if you want to withdraw for the first time, you have to bring just one person to unlock your withdrawal, to unlock your account fully. So I think with that delay and the method of bringing in one person, we make the system, we minimize the problem little. If you understand that thing, sir.
Yeah, you do minimize it. And as long as you keep enough people coming in, it's okay. Otherwise, people will I mean, it always, if it's first come, first serve, it's just the time for them to fill that second order is going to
that time frame we let system recover, and the bringing one member will let the member available for system to pick. So some people will refer more than one person. Some people may not refer more than one person. They must refer only one person. And if for instance now, if someone tell you that, okay, before you can withdraw, you have to refer one person, and that one person that you refer, you will still get paid for it, you definitely do it. Because
you can't.
You definitely do it, sir. Because you know that if you refer, you will get paid for it. And that one person will unlock your withdrawal button.
Okay, no, maybe I misunderstood you. As long as that new person coming in goes to fill an order, a first come first serve order out there, it's okay, right? You can feed the system the second one, but the problem is now those people that stop referring, right? Now everyone's still doubling. Still don't have enough people. If everyone, okay, I invited me and my friend and everyone I know, and everybody does that. I'm now still doing transactions. I'm now feeding off of the system. I'm not putting more in. I'm just recycling my recommitment. So my recommitment means that I get one out, right? And you also have a leak in that $30 referral fee, right? Because you're paying the withdrawal fee. So
I think, sir, I think that the method will minimize the problem to me, because each member will be bringing one person. I know. I remember that we have already give the time weight, as in the time weight has already been put in there, that if you trade today, before you can trade now, you have to wait like 3 days before you can trade. Between that 3 days, system will recover. Those new member will also bring in another new member. Each of them will be bringing one person. That one person also will be feeding. And remember, this system is auto recycling. For instance, now I'm the first person to enter the system now, and I sold for 2 people. So I have to buy again. So the system will now merge me to buy from another person. Even the system will merge me to buy from the last person. So the system will now merge me to buy from the last person again to kill on him. So the only issue that can occur is when we run out of cash, and we have already settled that issue. That's why we put the recommit. The only issue we can have is when we run out of cash, and that is why we put the recommit buttons there. So if you trade like 4 times, you have to send us $30 BTC.
So
If you trade another 4 times.
Something about 8 referrals. What happens with? Why did you say there's 8? You have to get 8 referrals, or what does that mean?
What? What do you say?
Remember, you were saying something about getting 8 referrals. Is that
8? I'm not saying. I'm not saying about 8 referrals. I'm not talking about 8 referrals.
Okay.
I'm trying to. Hello?
Hello? You hear
What
me?
do you say? I can hear you, sir.
Maybe I just misunderstood you.
Okay, no. I'm not saying. I'm not talking about 8 referrals. I'm not talking about 8 referrals.
Okay.
So with all those features and the one you just told me now, I think if I implement all the features there, it will minimize the problem, because we have already secured the way we can run out of cash. So that we can never run out of cash now, because as you are trading, you have to be putting $30 back into the system to support us.
Right.
New member also need to bring 1 person in order to make the system keep working. If you sell to 2 people, you have to buy again from new members. That is how the system will be keeping working. The system will now be rotating among the users. The only one issue we can have is if we run out of cash. That's what I think, sir. And I know you know more than me. So that is why I said I should contact you to share some experience with me, because I know you know more than me.
Right.
So any lapse, anything you think, anything you know that I can do to make sure this system, because I want better for this system.
Right. So all of these, so you have 567 happy traders, 59 transactions, 132 transactions. How do I remember? I'm just looking. What else is here? How it works. So I'm going to just read this. Side. Okay, Kringle Trader is 1 level peer-to-peer marketing with entry fee of $30 and no loss at all in our system. Below is a full explanation of how it works and how you're going to earn trading your TBC to beat it. Referring is not compulsory, but if you refer, you will earn $3 for every single referral you refer. The system automatically assigns buyers based upon first come, first served, guaranteed every member in the system. You're required to make $30 one-time purchase TBC from one of the trusted dealers assigned to your non-refundable, or to be able to enjoy all the benefits of being a member of Kringle Trader. This means that you can sell as much TBC Kringles as you wish per day, while automatically recycling into the trade level as all your trade fund come from your profits. Okay. All payment goes into escrow account to block all bad eggs. in the trading system. All right. That's a technical term, right? Bad eggs. Right. You will pay the total of $30 to escrow account in order to make sure that the member keeps trading, so that there won't be a break or eat and run in the system. To start trading, once escrow has funded your wallet, the system will automatically deduct $30 from your wallet to pay the seller assigned to you. On behalf of the seller, you will send $30 from the Kringle to their wallet. The system automatically assigns 2 buyers to buy $30 worth of TBC each from you, and you will send $30 worth of Kringle in return. Once both buyers confirm your transaction, the payment will be released to your wallet on your dashboard. At the end of the trade, you will have sold $60. After you have successfully completed your sell trade, you will automatically recycle in the system as a buyer, while $30 will be deducted from your trading wallet to process another buy trade with another seller assigns to you. That means you buy from one seller and sell for 2 buyers. No limit of trades per day. You can trade sell TBC Kringle as much as you want. This activity is to keep the system sustainable, running smoothly. All right, so I understand what you put there, but yeah, I think you do have a bit of a problem trying to keep this system up and running. So even you can minimize the issue with the delay in allowing them to trade, and by requiring them to bring in a member to unlock their system, that immediately you have a bit of a buffer, but it's basically it's very difficult to make this work for a long period. I don't know how long it will last. If you keep people coming in, and it's first come, first serve, there's no way to tell how long that next serve will take place for the second transaction. You know, even the first transaction, you know, if it's all delayed, put $30 in, and you get into a first come, first serve line. You know, that might be a better way to do it, but you don't know when that second one allow you to go, right? Yeah, I think that's if it's all first come, first serve, the delay could be extensive if it's slow. That's the main issue. Bring in enough people. You have to start. In essence, you have to bring in exponentially more people to keep the system flowing around the same amount of speed. The longer it takes for you to bring in the more people, the longer it is for the first come, first serve. So that's what this is. So it will work on first come, first serve, but there will be a time where it takes a very much long time for you to get that second transaction, or any transaction. Even the first transaction will take longer and longer and longer if you don't have an exponential number of people coming in. If you have an exponential number of people coming in, it's going to go fast. You know, you could do it in 6 hours, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But if you don't have the exponential and it slows down, that time frame takes longer, which is okay. It's just, you know, it's not, people will get upset and they'll grumble. When can I collect my money? When can I do the trade? Yeah.
It is true. It is true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I think maybe what you can do to speed this up is on the second transaction, if you introduce some other factor like a lottery, for them to, whether they get to, where they're first come first serve, they get to do the transaction. They have a chance to do it, right? And if you tied that to the number of people in the system to where you exceeded a threshold, you'd have to make a spreadsheet and calculate the number of people needed and what is the rate of change of people between day to day. And you could make a formula that would keep this from going, but that transaction would be tempered. Like it wouldn't be first come, first serve. It would be a first come, first chance to trade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it would be some people winning that day, some people not. And that's okay. Because the next day they win, right? So that first come, first serve comes around again, So I don't, the formula for that would be, it's probably not, you could probably come up with a formula that would work with not too much problem. But it would require you to, it wouldn't be about a delay between trades. It's a chance to trade when that comes around. And if you gave everyone, one out of 5 chance to trade that day, means 20% of the time people would be winning, right? So some people are winning and some people are not, but they get the next round, right? They get back in the line for the first come, first serve, right?
Okay. I get your point.
That might
I get your
work.
point.
That might work. So again, first come, first chance serve. Chance. I'm gonna say.
So people that trade today, if like let's say 5 people trade today, another 5 people will now trade another day. Maybe like after 3 or 4 days, another set will trade. Am I right?
That's not what I was saying. But let's say, let's not talk about the delay yet, the delay between trades. Let's just say it's first come, first serve, right? And then no time delay. Just like, not just for the moment. We'll think about it that way. First come, first serve.
Okay.
But I get 2 chances, right? 2 chances to do 2 transactions. I'm in line until 2 transactions are completed, right? So I gave 30. I have 2 trades that I can do, but when I'm in line, so my time in line comes, I have a chance, and so that's a say it's 20% chance, and so I win or I lose. So most likely I say I lose the first time. Out of 5 times I win 1. Right? So there's the delay, right? So I get only 20% chance of winning each time, right? To do that. But the second one comes around, okay, but I'm still in line. I'm still in line, right? I missed twice, right? My chance came around. I rolled the dice, whatever, but I didn't win, right? So I missed twice. I missed 5 times in a row. Right? And the next 2 I hit. So 7 chances go by and the last 2 hit, right? So I got done. Now I have to recommit $30. That's just an example, right? So there's no time delay other than the chance to win.
Okay.
All right? But you eventually will win right? Because you have 20% chance. Now, that's just an example. You can say 50% chance. All right. So let's.
Yes, I get you. I get you.
So let's say it's 50% chance. That means half the time I win and half the time I lose. So the likelihood of the time for me to come back around for me to trade, my second trade, the first trade and the second trade are both chances, right? I get a chance, right? But 50.
Okay.
That also may work. That may work. It may be that on a 50-50 basis that I won't run. This system will run at 50-50. I think it will run at 50-50 because they get the chance they miss, but they're still in line, and they get their chance again. So it's just how much time does it take for them to complete, right? So in this way, the new people coming in will be there to go to the allocation, and they also get in the 50-50 chance range. That system will work. Maybe it's better to do 30% chance, 35% chance, 33% chance to.
Sir.
Yes.
I get your point. I get your point, sir. So I want to tell you this again. In this system, the developer had one feature there that I can use to pause a trade for the whole day. So for instance now, let's say we did not see enough member coming in, I can pause the trade.
Yeah.
To get people.
But you see,
I still have chance.
Pause the trade, you pause the people.
Yeah.
People are going to say, hey, he paused the trade, I'm not going to join.
No. It's not that. It's not that I will pause the whole trade for that certain moment, so that to wait for people to join. I don't know whether you get my point.
I do. I get it. Yeah, but
so it's not every time just to make the system recover. I can still do that.
Yeah, but you're going to hold your finger on the button a long time. So I know what you're saying, but I listen. I know what you're trying to do. I get it. It's
okay.
You want to double their money.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me? Hello. Hello.
Yeah. I can hear you now. I can hear you.
Okay. So I know what you want to do. You want to give them a chance to double their trade amount that they put in. But whenever you do that, the money has to come from somewhere. So the only thing you can do is you can't make the money out of nothing, and you can't rely on all the people coming in. So you have to do something. So even delaying, if on first come first serve, that's okay. It just means it's taking a while. So everybody's paused. You're trying I don't think that solution is such a good solution to put the pause, right? And because it's only, it's a good thing to have, but you can't run it well that way. People will accept if their time is coming up in line, right? If you had a way of showing them where they are in line, right, and they could see in their back office, oh, my trade is coming up, right? And then it gets there, right, and they say, okay, your account is open. Press the button and roll the dice. Win. Right? Then, okay, they get to trade. Right? Okay, they're back in line again, right? Right? So they go around until they get paid out. So that is it will maintain at that level. It would probably be better. Well, I think 50-50 is okay. 50-50 works. They have a 50% chance of winning at that time.
It's really okay. Well, that idea you share now is let me just say it's very good idea. But like now, there's no way I can implement that feature now. Because it's entirely is another entire project. Like you said now, is a very strong project.
I know what you're saying, but this is something that is I think you can implement the delay. I mean, like 3 days, 5 days
Yes.
for them to do a trade, do 2 trades. It's 5 days to do 1 trade, 5 days to do another trade. You've delayed overall to complete 10 days. It's probably enough to maintain the system for a while. But
Sure.
as I said, the system could get into a problem. So you're going to be, you have a 50-50 chance of winning. So if everyone keeps joining, then you have no problem. But
So I will try my best. I will try my best. And I know with your support, everything will be okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let me stop sharing the screen for the moment. Other than what I just said, this is where you are. You have to do something to delay to get enough people coming in, and then have a buffer to allow it to maintain. But it could be where the people get delayed because it's first come first serve, and as long as you should put this in your description also. You may need to rewrite your description here of your how it works, so people know first come first serve.
Yes, I've already put the description there that system assign buyers based on first come first serve.
Yeah.
I've already put it there.
It is okay. I'm looking.
So I hope, I believe with your support, this system will work. To my own, with your support, I'm very, very sure that it will work with your support. So
I will tell you this. This is what I can tell you. I can't endorse this system, right, the way it is. I can say that it is a system that can work, right? This system can work, but I can't endorse it because it's not something that it could slow down, right? And then everybody is still waiting and waiting. It can slow to a halt. That's the reason. So without this extra piece in there, because you're trying to give people, you can't make something out of nothing, right? So if you're trying to double what they're putting in, it has to come from someplace, unless you're a bank and you can create money out of nothing, right? So I can see that this works, and I can tell people that this is a system that I think has potential to work for a while, but I don't endorse it. But I think that it's something that can work. It's a money game, and if you want to play the game, okay, right? But this is it's eventually you can get paid out as long as people are coming into it. This is why it's more of a system that, as long as people understand coming into it, that they have a chance of it taking a while before they get paid out. As long as it's growing, this transactions will happen faster. But if it starts growing slower, their payout will take longer and longer. So that's the problem. If you made it 50-50, like I was suggesting when their time comes up, that means you have enough in the system for people to play, right? It's a more it's something that won't slow down to a halt, right? This could slow down. That's the problem. You have to completely keep feeding this system because you always have to have double coming in. Even with the delay, you're making a buffer, right? Which is okay, and as for fluctuating and going up and down and up and down. So if over 1 week period, it's an average of doubling, then doubling every week, your people, okay, right? And then you'll be able to relatively pay out on 2 every week. But if it's not doubling, you can't keep it up. So then that delay, that 7 days becomes 8, and then 9, and then 10, and then people are upset. So that's why. So I see what you're doing. It's an honest effort. You're making an honest effort. I understand that. You're not trying to scam anyone. I'm just pointing out to you where you have a problem, right? And where some solutions. I'm trying to honestly give you some way of making it sustainable, where people understand. Number one, when you is not trying to tell someone it's going to do something and then it not happen, right? This becomes a problem, right? So everything has problems. I have problems trying to get things started, right? You know, and then it's working. I started Abundance Mind, right? And so I got everything ready. I had commitments from 1, 2, 3 people to bring in the bigger money to get the mining equipment and everything. 1, 2, and 3 all start saying, "Oh, in 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, in 2 weeks, in 2 weeks." And I said, "Okay." The marketing, the head of marketing, you know, he went off and did something else. I said, "Well, why did you say you were going to do this? You committed to doing it." And then when we're ready to go, he was not available. So all these things happen at one time, right? So problems happen, but I didn't give up, right? But so I'm trying to solve the problem. Now I'm working with an investment banking group in England, and it looks like this is going to move forward. But you know, this is taken time and effort to try and redo some things. The way I was doing it this way, it didn't work. I have to redo it a different way, right? So you have to adapt, even though it takes much longer. So I can only suggest to you that you figure a way to change this to where, you know, their first come, first serve is a 50-50 chance on that time to actually go to the pay line, to get assigned the people. And I don't know if you use a random number generator, you know, something like that. Probably, you know, like you know, those gambling, you know, things. You know, play something that has a 50% payout. You know, the lever. You know, the jackpot. They can do a transaction.
Sure.
If there's something like that that you have to, you know, it's sustainable then. Because your problem is double, right? If you do 50%, that cuts it back to single, right? So 50% chance to pay out. Sometimes some people get lucky and get paid out every time, and some people will be unlucky and not get paid out twice in a row, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So sometimes, you know, 1 and 1. Sometimes miss, and hit, right? Sometimes miss, and hit. Got lucky, right?
Okay. Okay.
But that's something is sustainable, and if it's sustainable that way, then I'm happy to endorse it. That would work, but I can't do it until that is sustainable. It's kind of workable, but you should explain to people that their time for payout can be longer if the number of people joining is slower. Then that gets you have less people wanting to join. But if you can tell people you got a 50% chance of making the second of making your transaction every time your time comes around, right? That is, they say, "Oh, I got 50% chance." I can deal with that. I like that, right? It's exciting. They're gambling. So makes it more interesting. So
Okay.
I suggest you talk to your programmer, right, and say, can we make it so that this is a little bit of code. I don't think this is so difficult, right? You just twist his arm a little bit,
Okay. I
right?
will. I will try to tell him because I don't know whether if you want to do that, if you want to implement another features like that,
It's
it
like
will take a lot.
it's like one line of code, right? If it probably takes him 1 hour. So just say, come on, do this. I pay you later.
Okay, okay, no problem. I will try I will try all my best to make this system work. So maybe along the line, I've been adding another features to make it sustainable, like the one I told you. So if I know that I've been going slow down, small, I will say I will add another features to support it. So that is what I will be doing. The time you told me, if you can remember that time you told me that I should make this system work automatically. So that because if I'm paying out money manually, sometimes I may not have network on my phones or I may not have network on my laptop to process the payment for people that want to withdraw. And you gave me the advice. Now I have implemented that features now, and a lot of people are happy with it because once they withdraw like this, within let me just say within 30 minutes to 1 hour, they get their money instantly because it's automatically. Once they click on withdraw, the system will process the payment and send it to them. So along the way, I'll be adding another features to make it sustain.
You
I
know,
just start.
yeah. In the first transaction, they put their deposit in, right, and they now get into line. So when they can do their transaction, though, is going to now take some time. You minimize that because you do this 50-50, right? Because someone's still in the queue because only half of the people are going. It's something that I think you can do and not. I think it's very easy to implement. I don't think your programmer will have when the people come up to get a line in queue, just have them give them a 50% chance of being success. Maybe they
Okay.
have to press. Maybe they have to press a button, right? So that they're interacting with it. Right? Just ask him. It's not so hard. It's something very simple. Tell them,
Okay.
we can start this if we do this because it's an easy thing.
Uh, okay, no problem. I'll ask him.
You ask.
I'll ask him about it. But I still need more help from you, sir. Hello,
Yes.
the help. I still need your help.
What's the
The
help?
help, because I believe that if people hear from you about our platform, people will join. Because number one, you have a lot of followers,
I tell
and in TBC today, most everybody believes you.
well, I
So
so
if you can tell them that this system is a kind of workable system and it's okay. So I'm not saying you should tell them that you are profit. You can tell them it's a workable system
it's
and it's a money game system. It's okay. So it's a safe place to invest. If anybody want to see the founder or they want to talk with me, I'm free. We can do a video conversation or whatever they want.
I hear what you're saying.
Just to
I would never say invest, right? But if they want to play this is it's something that is workable But my suggestion is, as I said, if you tweak this a little bit more, it can be successful. It's actually very. I think it's a good idea. Just ask the programmer, see what he says. See if he can implement it. It's just very simple to ask them. Pick a number between 1 and 2. 50. You can say, pick a Kringle or TBC, and it comes up Kringle. Oh, I picked TBC. Something like that. And then they also have a time to. They also have a time. If they miss their time window to trade, and they lose. They only have 50% chance of trading that time. Otherwise, they're back in line again. That works. It'll work. It's sustainable. It doesn't matter how many people are in, right? It doesn't matter. So something will work. Just listen to me. This other system, you're going to be pulling your hair out, and people will get upset if you go too slow.
Okay.
Hey, tell them to be quiet. There's too much noise.
What do you say?
I said, tell whoever's making noise to be quiet. They're making too much noise.
Okay. No problem.
No, it's okay.
Okay, no problem now.
Okay.
So everything will be silent now. She's playing music.
Ah. All right. Well, I guess. You only paid 1 hour for my time, and it's okay. I gave you 2 hours.
Thank you, sir.
So I'm gonna. My wife just came home, brought me dinner, so I'm gonna go eat.
Okay, no problem. Just make sure you help me do the short video. And this recording, this meeting, I want you to send me the link, the video link, so that I can look back on to watch it later.
Yeah, it's all right. I'll post it up on YouTube, and you can grab it from there.
Okay, so and secondly, help me do that short video to tell TV channel is a workable system and is a safe place to invest. So it's okay.
I never say invest because that's another bad word.
Okay, just make a couple. Just make a positive comment on it so that people will join.
What they're going to see?
You can also
this is it.
What do you say?
I said this is what we're talking. They're going to see this.
No problem. And thank you. Thank you. No problem.
Okay. All right. I'll let you know after I've uploaded.
No problem, sir.
All right.
All right, sir.